Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on some frogs in my new sketchbook. I'm currently working in the Strathmore 500 series softcover sketch art journal. All my supplies that I'll be using today will be listed in the description below, and I'm considering turning these little guys into stickers, so if anyone would be interested in that, let me know here or on my Instagram. So as I alluded to in the title here, I've been on a serious hiatus from YouTube for quite some time, and I decided I'd explain exactly why that is and why I'm getting back into video making now. So when I first started this channel, I was in my sophomore year of high school. I started making as many videos as I could between schoolwork and my classes, but once COVID hit, it became increasingly difficult for me to fit all that into my schedule. I was taking quite a few AP courses, including AP Studio Art in my senior year, and after a while it just became pretty impossible to get anything other than my schoolwork done with the amount of assignments I was given by my classes. When I graduated from high school, I started my college education off at a community college to try and save money on some of my gen ed courses before spending my money on art-specific classes. It wasn't until the end of October that I started facing what would lead to my taking a break from college. So late October, I started experiencing some serious nausea symptoms. I felt nauseous and like I had to sit down. It was worsened or triggered by my standing for long periods of time. It was worse from the morning to the afternoon, then it seemingly improved around nighttime. It could either last all day or for a few hours in a day, but it slowly got progressively worse until by the time I was finishing my spring semester at my college, I could barely get through my classes. Now, some of y'all might want to suggest some obvious reasons for this, like COVID, but between those months I started going to doctors, I never got COVID, and they couldn't actually find any source for the nausea. Once I finished my spring classes up, and barely, mind you, as in I felt like I was going to pass out from giving my final presentation in English, barely, I decided I'd take the summer to continue to try to get to the bottom of all this, and hopefully have an answer by the fall. Unfortunately, I learned that whatever's going on with me had made me extremely heat intolerant though, so my nausea or lightheaded episodes became even more frequent and severe by the heat. It especially doesn't help that where I live tends to be horrifically humid, even for non-nauseous people. And when I tried going on vacation in August, I ended up in the hospital from collapsing while trying to get to my flight. It is currently February when I'm making this video, and all the doctors I've gone to still have no idea what I have, but I've been given some anti-nausea medication to try and lessen the symptoms when I have my episodes. Even then though, it's just masking my symptoms to some extent, and they still don't know what's wrong with me after a little over a year of my experiencing all this. For obvious reasons, this has made it pretty difficult for me to try attending school, so I'm still taking a break from college. Because of the unexpected freeing up of my time from schoolwork though, even if I'm nauseous or going to doctors half the time, I've decided to use the time I've got now to work on setting up the business aspect of my art career and get back into making videos. I recently started taking commissions, and anyone interested can check out my link tree in the description below or email me. And I've also started working on setting up a website where I'll be selling prints, stickers, some of my original art pieces, the like. I'm staying pretty positive about all this, mostly because, well, worrying about it isn't going to make me feel any better, and I found that stress can worsen the nausea. But working on my art has helped me take my mind off of my anxieties about my health, while also pushing me forward in terms of getting started with my art career. I do have the feeling I'm going to be told it's something chronic and lifelong, and if that's the case, I'm gonna have to adapt to that. I've already had this for a year now, and my mom had a rare lung disease that led to her getting a double lung transplant. I grew up with seeing her continue on with her life just fine in whatever way that she needed to, so I know I can adapt to whatever life's got in store for me too. So, on a lighter note, if any of you notice the names for the frogs here, they're named by my followers on Instagram, some of my friends, as well as my family. I love having this extra interactive element for my followers on social media, so if you ever want to name a part of a series of animals I'm painting or drawing, feel free to check out my Instagram, because I tend to ask for name suggestions there. As for my watercolors, I'm using Daniel Smith watercolors, and as I expressed in my last video, I've recently started a new Strathmore sketchbook that isn't their mixed media or watercolor one. I've been testing how well watercolor works on this paper, and as I said in my sketchbook comparison video, I was very pleasantly surprised by how easy it was to make smooth but thin flat washes with watercolors. Now, I have yet to do anything very detailed or heavy body watercolor pieces with the sketchbook, but I'm planning on giving a full review on this sketchbook, as well as their popular mixed media version once I'm finished. In the meantime though, I'm testing the paper out a bit with my frogs here. I didn't end up filming my final rendering with colored pencil, but I show how the frogs turn out in the end here. The watercolor brushes that I'm using here are the Creative Mark Creative Inspirations synthetic brushes. I was stressing in my last video how I hated using other watercolor brushes when I couldn't find where I'd placed all my brushes of this brand. They're my absolute favorite brushes, and I definitely would recommend them for someone working with watercolor, gouache, or even acrylic. They're really great brushes, they hold water really well for a cheaper synthetic brush, and because of that I don't need to do a lot of layering, just trying to build up color. I haven't had any of the hairs fall out like all my other cheap synthetics. Unfortunately, they aren't typically found in craft stores like Michael's around where I live, but I recently bought some of them for around $1 or less from a super sale at Jerry's Artarama, and that's where I tend to get them whenever I want to try a new size without breaking my budget. This is absolutely not sponsored by Creative Marker Jerry's, by the way. I just really love to share supplies that I can actually recommend to beginners and professionals. These brushes just never disappoint me, and I know how hard it is to find brushes for multiple mediums that are going to be good quality and a reasonable price. If you'd like me to do a full review of all the paintbrushes that I've tried and which ones I'd recommend, which ones I wouldn't, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd love to make one for anyone interested. I'd say that's all the biggest changes in my life recently, aside from the recent inheritance of a very sweet little dog named Camelot. If you want to see any photos of her, go check out my Instagram in the description. She'll probably be spotted in my upcoming videos. I'm very happy to be back on YouTube and making art, and I'd like to give an extra thanks to the very sweet people that have left comments in my last couple of videos since returning to my channel. If there's a supply you'd like me to review or something you'd like to see me paint or draw, let me know here or on my Instagram. If you're interested in commissions or any of the art that I'm planning on selling in the future, feel free to check out my Instagram for updates and commission information. So what's going on with me business-wise? Well, currently, I'm working on setting up an official website where I can display my art, sell my art, have a page for taking commissions, and be more active on social media. I plan to make some studio vlogs soon once I start taking orders and packing them, as well as my usual art process videos. The current thing I've been working on is finding which company to use to make my stickers and prints, since price and quality can vary between them. In the meantime though, a lot of the art that I consider turning into prints or stickers, I tend to make a poll on my Instagram for to see if my followers would actually like to see them turned into merch. I'd really like to work on making shirts and hoodies too, as well as more abstract upcycling of thrifted clothes to sell apart from putting designs on shirts. So anyone interested in original artwork on clothing, stay tuned for when my shop opens. I know most of what I've filmed until recently has typically been traditional art, whether it be digital warm-up sketches on my Instagram or quick paintings in watercolor in my sketchbook, but I'm planning on expanding my mediums to textiles. In terms of commissions, I plan on discussing them in better length in a later video, but while I'm setting up my commissions page, I can be contacted through the email that you can reach on my Linktree in the description. If you want to request a commission in my DMs on Instagram, I also accept that, but I'll still be redirecting you to my email, just to try and wait out the typical scammers and bot accounts on Instagram. In terms of what I do commissions of though, I'm currently doing portraiture and studies of pretty much any other animal than a cat or dog. So if you have a pet fish, or a lovely little reptile or amphibian, a rat, you name it and it's not feline or canine, I'd love to do a drawing or painting of it. If you're interested in an original piece or a similar rendition of something that I've posted on my sketchbook here or on Instagram, I also accept making pieces from that. I'm not going to talk through this whole video today though, because I wanted to leave some of it for those that prefer watching art with just a little music in the background, so I'll be saying my goodbyes here. I had a lot of fun working on these silly guys today. I hope you all enjoyed watching me work on them, and if you'd like to see me turn these amphibian fashionistas into prints or stickers, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Life is so long. so long.